And we're live here. Okay. Hello, Facebook. How are you? Oh, Jesus. Come on, share. Yeah, all right, that'll be good. Make sure I'm recording. And I am. So, what is up? Welcome to another episode of the What Had Happened Was podcast. My name is Mike Dendarski. Thank you so much for tuning in on Monday, August 13th, 2018. And Tigah Tigah Woods, y'all. We actually had a Sunday with Red Tiger in contention. Was really exciting, actually. I haven't watched a round of golf in probably 10 years since Tiger was actually relevant. And it was exciting. I was able to, sit down, put Maxon on my lap and said, all right, we're going to watch the guy in red. Is that Tiger? Yes, that is him. And we want the ball to go in the cup. I don't know why or what like my infatuation with Tiger doing well is, but I really was excited to see him back in contention on a Sunday. It was EPL kickoff weekend, so the English Premier League started, which means the NFL season is right around the corner. I have Trey Moore lined up for August 24th ish. We're going to do a fantasy podcast. I'm hoping to cut it into segments so that I can release the clips like the QBs, the wide receivers, tight ends, blah, 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 so that if someone doesn't want to listen to the whole podcast or they don't like sports, they don't have to. You can just kind of watch each section or whatever, or watch none of them, whatever you feel like doing. I'm not sure why I randomly decided to talk about that in the middle of talking about Tiger, but I was very excited to see Tiger in contention. It was awesome to just, watch him take shots that mattered. He was sinking putts. He hit one drive. I think it was on like 16. It was a par 5. So I'm sure he was going to birdie it because old Sunday Tiger always birdies a par 5. And unfortunately, he shanked his drive and he was able to save par. But the other guy, Koepka, I guess his name was just on fire down the stretch. He ended up winning by 3 or 4 strokes. Tiger did birdie on the last hole to take a share of second place from Adam Scott. So it was Koepka took the tournament, and then Adam Scott and Tiger tied second. So hopefully next year, Tiger has set himself up for at least one major. I'm not real sure. Usually I get eye rolls from my wife, but I just got an eyebrow furrow. Oh, I hit her. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I'm not beating my wife. I'm not. Although Tiger never beat his wife. Brian Mooney is definitely that. He's one of those little, soccer players. I'm trying to watch my mouth. My wife says I embarrass her, like full on embarrassment when she listens to these, like red face. It just, I don't know what it is, but when I look at these two comments, I love it. I love it. And these are my people. So yes, Brian Mooney is quite the bitch, and Brian Scott does like the penis indeed. And who doesn't like a good penis? I mean, I've seen my share in my day. We've all watched some videos we probably shouldn't. I think this is probably the stuff that my wife says embarrasses her, but we've all seen a nice rod. That one got the ill. I was gonna go shaft. I think that would have been better instead of rod. Tiger's thrown the rod around. What was that, like a Perkins waitress he was banging? He had no shame in his game. He didn't care if you were a 1, a 10. His wife was pretty hot, and he was still out there, banging basically a waitress at a Denny's at 4 a.m, like just ripping lines of Adderall and cocaine and God knows what else. And maybe that's why I root for him, because I really root for the comeback story. We haven't had that yet. We've had a guy who was accused of murder go on to win a Super Bowl. We've had, what else have we had? We've had Greg Hardy win his first UFC fight after showing that he was capable of beating the shit out of his girlfriend. So he translated his skill set of wife beating to actually knocking a guy out. I don't think it was an actual UFC fight, but it was like one of those satellite deals where, like, if you win a couple, maybe you'll get a UFC contract. So we've had that, but we've yet to have guy who was on the top of the world, then went crazy banging porn stars, models, Denny's waitresses, and then comes back and wins another major. So I think that'd be a nice little cherry on the top of that movie. If they made it rated R, that'd be a nice little flick to watch. Tigah Tigah Woods Y'all. About hours, 1 through 2 would be real fun times. You have a bunch of like that Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, where Leo's like all on Quaaludes and he rams his car and a bunch of shit. I think the whole hour of the movie should just be Tiger running through random Bob Evanses or friendlies, picking up chicks. Why? I still don't understand that. Why he picked a waitress at a Perkins. This thing is really bothering my ear today. Maybe this guy just shaved. It's not nestling in the beard. I am like baldy today, Mr. Clean. Gonna have that going for me. Saw a pretty funny meme. It was I guess you could say a queen. It wasn't a drag queen, but it was a man who definitely was more effeminate, bald, and it was like when Mr. Clean turns into Mr. Fabuloso. Got me in a pretty good spot there. I don't know why, but it's a pretty good meme. Fabuloso Cleaner is pretty awesome. I think they're all the same. OxyClean, Fabuloso, every last one of them. Like Fabuloso gets a bad rep because it's cheaper, but Windex, all of them, and you love the smell of it. So it's all about the smell. I like the Gain detergent and Tide April. Was it April Fresh or with Downy? Yeah. It's weird though, because Joey uses it actually, and it always reminds me of him because he would use way too much detergent, like to the point where I don't know how he didn't break it. He actually did break out in hives one time, but that was shingles. He was I think he was like allergic to spiced rum or some shit, but he had so he broke out on shingles. And what I'm saying with the April Fresh, the detergent, is that Joey always used too much of it. So even when he like farted, it would stink, but it would kind of smell good because he had so much detergent in his clothes that it would push out the April Fresh smell along with the shit smell. So it was always like you didn't know if it smelled good or bad. And anytime I, smell April Fresh, I kind of chuckle to myself and I'm like, man, Joey he must have used it like up to number 4 and just dumped it in there, no matter how many clothes, whether he had 3 shirts or actual full load of clothes. He must have just dumped the whole cap right into the washing machine and not even cared. Which, if you're watching or listening or watching, however you're taking this in, I can't emphasize enough, do not really ever go past number 2. You don't need more detergent than that. Otherwise, it's just going to build up in your clothes and you're going to end up going through your clothes way faster because it builds up in your clothes. Then when it goes in the dryer, they get more brittle and they break off easier, and then you end up with a lint trap. So here I am giving you washing advice on this lovely podcast. This has been a great one. So I kind of started a little early tonight because the bedtime routine for the kids has been fucking jacked up. It's not that it's been jacked, like they're already in bed. So they get their teeth brushed and they're in bed usually by about 7:30. We let them do their thing for about, 15 minutes, half hour, however long it goes. And then usually about this time we'll go in, lay down, read. And it's turned into, I don't know, torture lately. So we'll go in there, lay down, read, then they'll want us to switch beds. So now I'll have to go tell my daughter a story and the wife will have to go tell Maxon a story. And it's literally torture. And I came out one night like furious, ready to punch something. And my mom goes, "One day you'll miss this." And it made me want to punch her instead of something. Like I came out of the room wanting to just punch a random object. And then when she said that one day you'll miss this, I just wanted to punch her instead, because no, I will not miss my kids screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," for a 45-minute stretch when I'm laying right next to them. I have gotten to the point where I don't even bring my phone in because I don't want to be quote unquote distracted. Because my daughter gives me so much shit if I'm even like in the vicinity of my phone and she says something to me and I don't answer her immediately, she'll say, "Oh, it's because you're too busy looking at your phone." And I'm not sure where she may have heard that before, but she's definitely picked it up somewhere. Uh, and it's infuriating. Maybe because it's true, and you get that little pain, like God, that hurt because it was true. Like the other day, she said, "Are you going to help me, or are you being lazy?" And I was laying down on the couch, and I was like, "I am being lazy," and my 6-year-old daughter just called me lazy, so it stung a little extra bit. But you can't punch them because the DFS will take them away from. Well, they won't. I mean, you get a couple strikes, one or two, and then they'll take them away from you. But you can go a little bit before you have to worry about them being taken away. Not that I'm condoning hitting your children. I would never advocate for that. But sometimes I'm a plucker. I like to pluck. I'm not a big hitter. Never really have been. I've always said I wouldn't use any kind of physical discipline. But when your kid's like basically shitting in your face and telling you how bad you suck, you got to hit them with right in the forehead or right in the upper lip with a nice good pluck, and that usually straightens them up. But Max the other day, this little asshole, chip off the old block. My kids are, and I'll tell a few stories on how these kids are a chip off the old block. He was yelling for me. And I basically said, of course, I yelled across the house because I'm a fucking hypocrite. I said, "Don't use your mouth, use your feet. If you need me, come to me. Do not yell across the house." And I yelled this across the house to really drive home the point to do as I say, not as I do, because that's usually the best method of discipline, is to not lead by example. It's to just tell them what you want them to do. Anyway, I told him, I said, "Use your legs, not your mouth." And so this asshole, just to be an asshole, instead of actually using his legs, I'm not kidding, like army crawled like a fucking slug. And I wouldn't even call it an army crawl. Like he Lieutenant Dan crawled, because he like would slap his hands down and then slide them. So he almost like seal slid, like he was belly sliding across the hardwood, which I wish my parents had carpet, because he would have had massive rug burn from like his nipples to his navel. But no, they have hardwood. So he was like sliding, pat, slide, pat, slide. And then he comes and he looks me dead in the face and says, "I didn't use my legs." And I was like, "Bitch, I'm about to use my legs to kick you in the ass. Get up. What did you want?" And you want to know what he wanted? "Come find my star blanket." Guess where it was? He was using it underneath of himself to help slide on the hardwood. So not only had he already found it, but then he didn't use his legs to come find me, because I told him to use his legs. But no, why would he want to do that? He had to be top level smart ass to use his arms to come to me with the thing he wanted me to quote unquote find. He's a jackass, just straight up jackass. And I know exactly where he gets it from. And I actually had to laugh when he looked up at me and said, "I didn't use my legs." It was infuriating, but at the same time, I was a little bit proud of him. And Sloan made me proud the other day, actually twice. Most recent. So I told this story on Facebook. Basically, we were sitting at the dinner table, and my dad had said, he took Max into the boardwalk, and he said he like cursed at the machine. And Sloan said, "Well, what's a curse?" And my mom said, "It's basically when you say a bad word, like someone's stupid or shut up or whatever." And Sloan kind of like cocked her head to the side as if to say like, "That's not really a bad word." And she was like, "You mean like you're a fucking asshole?" and it caught me off guard. So I laughed, like, and I know I shouldn't have, but I really, really laughed. And if you listen to the podcast, you know that she hears it from me, because I'm not one to really censor myself. Today we actually had a talk about, we drove past a random cemetery on Route 30. If you've ever driven Route 30 between Zoar and Millsboro, you know there's like that little cutout fence where there's like 4 gravestones. And someone was like, "Oh yeah, when you die you turn into dirt." And I was like, "Yes, you do, but I would actually like to turn into ashes, so can you please burn me and cremate me?" And she was like, "Do we have to do it?" I was like, "No, you take me to a funeral home." And then she was like, "And they put you in a jar and I can keep you?" I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Oh well, I want to do that too. Can you please make me ashes when I die? And then I realized that this probably isn't an appropriate conversation to be having with a 6 and a 4-year-old. But we soldiered on. We went through, and then we talked about how the dogs weren't going to die for a long time, but they were going to die at some point. So I think it's good to give your kids expectations of death and despair and destruction, especially in these times in 2018, where we have Nazis walking through DC, being protected by the police officers. So, sign of the end times: frogs, locusts, and white people carrying tiki torches. Those are, I think that was in the Bible. I think that was like Leviticus. It was in there. The tiki torches, that was definitely Leviticus. But no. So another thing Sloan has been saying lately is she's really inquisitive. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Well, I bought Jumanji for them to watch, and I didn't realize that there was some questionable language for kids. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone really. Okay, you're right. Oh, come on, is right. It's not bad. Your kids can watch it. Just understand that they might hear a bitch or an ass. It's a really good movie, actually. It's probably one of my favorite rock movies that he's released in the past 5 or 6 years. He went way too action, way too like I don't even know. Like I like rock, but he was better in that. What was that movie with Sean William Scott? That was awesome. That was one of my favorite movies. The Gato. What the hell was that movie? It was like Walk Hard or something. That was the Dewey Cox story. Walking Tall. Maybe not. Yes, you can light with her. I think it was Walking Tall. Yeah. So there's like this Australian or English helicopter pilot, and he's like, I got a dodgy knee. And that was a pretty good one. I think I nailed that accent, actually. Anyway, long story short, toward the end of the movie, I don't want to, spoiler alert, Kevin Hart rides in on an elephant and yells, "Zoology, bitch." And so Sloan says to us, like, what does zoology mean? And so I thought the best way to explain it to a little kid was to just say, well, it means I know a lot about animals. And so all of a sudden I then hear her yell, I know a lot about animals, bitch. It caught me in such a good spot because kids take things so literally. Like, yeah, so literally that like they always like the way they hear things. So when I said to her, it means I know a lot about animals, she thought she could just substitute that into him yelling Zoology. And it was hilarious just to hear her yell, I know a lot about animals, bitch. Jeremy, the Yankees are doing pretty well. They're not doing quite as well as the Sox. Go Sox. I think it's pretty. They haven't clinched yet, but they might as well just end it. The Red Sox on the East. Yes, Trenton. Thank you very much, Walking Tall. I haven't scrolled down in a couple of minutes, so I apologize. I'm way late on all that. But yeah, Walk Hard is probably my favorite drunk movie to watch, and you have to watch it with somebody else. Jenna Fisher's in it from The Office. John C. Reilly, obviously. Will Ferrell is a little cameo. The fish sandwich guy. I'm a fish sandwich, like a fish sandwich. What the hell's his name? It's going to bother me. Anyway, he's in it, and it's just funny. It's a spoof off of Walk the Line. I had a little hair in my mouth. I don't know. Didn't come from me. Am I right? You bald bastard. No, so it was a spoof of Walk the Line, and it was really, 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 really funny. I recommend you watch it, but I'd recommend if you're not like your mind's not altered, so to speak, or you're not with someone else. Like if you watch it by yourself, you'll probably think it's the stupidest movie you've ever seen. But if you watch it with someone, with a couple glasses of wine or a couple beers, it's one of the funniest movies ever. Super Troopers 2 just came out on DVD. I want to get that. Deadpool 2 just came out on DVD. I want to get that. I haven't been to the movie theaters in a long ass time. I need to take the wife to a movie. We kind of tend to like doing that. We went to see, what the hell? It was one of our first movies together. The Jennifer Lawrence one. Oh, Hunger Games. Yes, the first one. It was when we met 8 years ago. So that would make sense that was one of the first movies. I volunteer as tribute. They were for like the YA novels. Hunger Games is top notch. Twilight was awful. I never watched Twilight until I met you, and you made me watch like the last one. It was so fucking stupid. It was like you ruined it for me. I ruined it. How did I ruin it? This is so stupid. There's a fucking vampire was sparkling in the daytime. Vampires die in the day. Everybody knows that. For thousands of years in folklore, vampires die in the daytime. You can't just completely reverse all that, folklore to make them sparkle in the daytime. You didn't think that was a little bit bullshit?
And a writer, you can make your vampires do whatever you want.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll add that to the slash of things I do. Teacher, father, husband, author. I'm a storyteller.
Get back to my Nicholas.
What is that one? The ants go marching 2 by 2. Hurrah. Hurrah. Oh. Does it talk about white people carrying tiki torches?
No.
Because that was in Leviticus. Did you know it's a sign of the end times? It's about Noah?
No, it's not about Noah.
It's about animals?
Reference him and his daughter on a journey. I don't know. I'm down chapter 10.
Okay. I'll leave you be. Sorry. Okay. That part of the episode was brought to you by marriage counseling. If you're struggling to connect to your spouse, talk to him. Go see a therapist. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say we communicate well, even if it's not in the nicest manner. All right? Woman, leave me be. Trying to do shit here. Anyway, I hope that was entertaining for everyone. Bedtime routines suck. I know a lot about animals, bitch. Oh, back in Delaware, Sussex County. I've been in Delaware. I never left. What the fuck am I talking about? Back in Delaware. So, can we figure something out in Sussex County about volunteer firefighters? I was coming through Millsboro the other night, and the fire whistle goes off. Woo, 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 whatever. All right, cool. Get it. We got to put out the blaze. Understood. If my house were on fire, I'd want the fire company to get there as soon as they possibly can. But Billy Badass with a little fucking blue thing in your dashboard. Slow the fuck down. You're coming down Main Street in Millsboro on the wrong fucking side of the road, and you almost ran into like 15 cars. I get it. You want to get there and put on your suit and pull the horn and play firefighter. I understand completely. If it were my house, please get there, shoot the pressurized water into my window. I get it. That's fun. We all wanted to do it when we were kids. But now that you're an adult and you have responsibilities, can you not do 80 and almost hit 7 people with your little fucking toy blue light in your dashboard with your flashers on? I don't even know if that's legal. How you got that installed? Like your reverse lights are flashing, your fog lights are flashing, and you got the little blue light on your goddamn dashboard going. And I'm supposed to just get out of your way, apparently, because you're super important. I got to get home. I got dinner to cook, man. I know you got to put out a fire, but relax. I don't know whether you're trying to pull me over and rape me and pretend you're an officer or get into the fire hall. I don't know. We got to figure out a better system in Sussex County than volunteer firefighting. I know people don't like the T word. We got to do something, maybe some taxes, get 2 or 3 guys that stay at I don't even know how it works. There might actually be 2 or 3 guys that stay at the house. If anybody knows anything about volunteer firefighting, feel free to let me know. I don't know if people like actually stay at the house and then they get like, when the whistle goes off, the other guys come, or I don't know how it works, but however it works, we should try to get at least a system where we pay 2 or 3 guys to be full time. Well, maybe the hell is all this hair coming from? I guess we'd need 6, 2 on each shift, an 8-hour shift, or maybe they can do 12-hour shifts. So maybe we'd only need 4 guys. I'm just spitballing, people. I'm trying to solve this issue in Lower Delaware that doesn't matter for 95% of the time, but that 5% of the time when you got Billy Badasses riding 95 miles an hour on the road with their little toy. When am I not still on something? Isn't that what I do? I just harp on something until it annoys the shit out of you. I can't imagine where our kids get it from. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. I love my kids. I love them. I love them. If I tell myself that enough.
Ah.
Maybe I'll believe it. No, being a parent I don't know. It's not there. You can't compare it to anything because it is some of the most frustrating times of your life, but it's the most rewarding. Like, it has changed me, I believe, for the better. I don't want to get corny and wax poetic about all the ways that I feel that I'm a better human because of my kids. But I truly am. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to joke and talk shit about them on my podcast. It's just funny as a parent to talk shit on your kids. And if you're the type of person that gets uptight and says it's just not nice, what if they listen to this when they're older and then you have to pay for their therapy? And I'll say I raised some weak ass minded kids that they can't tell the difference between a joke and real life because my actions speak louder than my words. Keep telling myself that. Yeah, there is a lot of truth said in jest, however, but I'm not going to drown them in the bathtub or punch them in the throat or anything like that. So just talk shit on them on a podcast. Everyone has to release things in a different manner. My healthy way is to talk about it on a podcast, which is much better than taking and holding their heads underwater in the bathtub for a couple minutes. Was that too descriptive? Oh my, someone's going to report me for what? Doing a shitty podcast? This guy, he does a terrible podcast. It's not very entertaining. And he did mention drowning his kids at one point. Let's call and let's see what he's doing. Maybe I'll get the John Atkins treatment. I'll just get released on my own recognizance a couple times. see what that be like. See what that be like. Yes. I like your banter, your interjections, though. It's like when I'm doing it by myself. That's why I kind of started doing it on Facebook. One, so more people could see it. And two, so that I had that feedback, because it is hard when you're just talking to a microphone by yourself. You don't have any kind of feedback, any kind of interaction. You start to feel like a crazy person. What should I get? Should I get like floral? I thought you were going to talk like a girl bending over or something. No, that's not a nice background. No, okay. All right, moving right along. Speaking of girls, they like to use mirrors. So we were at Walmart the other night, and Lindsay was buying a pair of pants. So you do want to buy pants at some point.
Like I buy like nice like pants.
I just said we were in Walmart.
No, I mean like going out pants. Like it was like
going
out gym pants.
Right. You're okay. What the hell's it matter?
I don't want people to think I like.
Are you highfalutin? Yeah, we wouldn't buy her. Who buys their clothes at Walmart? Ooh, as I have my
loungewear is nice.
The Avia or whatever it's called. Avia. I guess that's if you're at Target, it's Avia. If you're at Walmart, it's that there Avia shit. Anyway, so long story short, Lindsay was buying a pair of pants to run her 5K, which she got third place in. Holla. Fourth place in holla. Yeah, if my wife were just a little faster, she could have brought home a trophy. But no, they didn't give out participation trophies, just drink tickets. She got 2 drink tickets and didn't bring home a trophy. So I said, you get your ass out there and you run another one faster, better next time. I don't deal with losers in this goddamn house. But she was picking out pants for this thing. And I believe the size she picked out was the size that she had tried on before, and they fit a little weird. So she wanted to try them on. So we go to the fitting room, and we say, hey, Walmart lady, can we get in the fitting room? I don't know why I'm saying we, like I was involved in this conversation. Like my wife can actually speak for herself, believe it or not. She's a big girl. So not like that. She's not a big girl. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm digging a hole here. She is not a big girl. She's a small girl, a very, very small girl. So we go over to the lady, the Walmart lady, and why do I keep saying wait? She goes over to the Walmart lady and she says, I want to try these pants on. And Walmart lady says, oh, well, I don't have the key. Renee's on break. Like we needed to fucking know what Renee's name was. Anyway, Renee was apparently on break. And so we go there and I keep saying, wait. she goes there and she says, "Can I get the key?" No, Renee's on break. Oh, okay. So then she sees us sitting there kind of looking at each other like, well, when will Renee be back? And she's like, I don't know when Renee's coming back, but there's a mirror right over there. Like, when the fuck is okay, I also have eyeballs and I can hold them up to my legs. That's the same fucking thing as a mirror. Why did you suggest that instead of actually trying them on, I go look in the mirror? Like, my eyeballs don't work. Like, I didn't put them up to my waist already and, look down. Like, who says, oh, dressing rooms, I can't open the door because Renee has the keys, but all you have to do is just look down or look in the mirror and you should be able to tell if they fit. No problem. 2 thumbs way up. So we're like, I look at Lindsay when she says, oh, but there's a mirror over there. I can't even contain my laughter anymore. I just laugh right in this woman's face and I felt bad. I don't even know what her name was, but we'll call her Pamela because she looked like a Pamela. And then so I don't know. Fuck you, Pamela's. I don't know if it was Renee or not that was walking up, but it was an older black lady, and she had that old black lady like lined up mustache thing going on, which I don't understand that trend. Yeah, it's like an older black lady thing. Like, instead of just shaving it or waxing it, they like line it, like they shape up their mustache.
I have never.
You've never seen that? Oh, well, you missed it. The woman that was walking up had it going on. But anyway, as this woman's walking up, Pamela, who we'll call Pamela, basically actually takes the time to walk behind the counter, and there on a bright orange fucking lanyard are the keys to the dressing room. And she says, oh, here are the keys. So the whole time Pamela was standing there being lazy, folding clothes, and telling my wife that she should just look in the mirror as opposed to try on the pants. The fucking keys were sitting not even 12 inches from her stupid face. Pamela, go walk in traffic on Route 1. Which actually you could walk in traffic safely on Route 1 because it doesn't fucking move. You could actually walk faster than you could drive. I know I sound like I'm bitching about the traffic, and well, welcome back to Sussex County. You've been living in Kent too long, but holy shit. It took me, I would say, almost 45 minutes to get to the avenue from Walmart. And I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I know it was every bit of a half hour. It was insanity. Like, we were going down there. Lindsay had to pick up her bib the night before. She's not a baby, like the bib for running. She doesn't spit up food randomly. And that's why we were down there. So we also stopped at Funland, which is the best. I'm still floored at the value you get at Funland. Like, when the fair comes to town, it's like a fucking $1 for a ticket, and you got to pay one ticket to go on the stupid. It's a Caterpillar roller coaster, and it goes for 12 seconds. Hooray! That was $1. Hope you're happy. But at Funland, it's, I don't know, you get like a packet of 100 tickets for like $20, and most of the kids' rides are 3 to 5 tickets. So if you go with 2 kids, and let's say every single one's 5, which they're not, you basically are getting 10 rides each for $20, which isn't bad. By the time you wait in line, go buy ice cream or something, you can easily go down there as a family. And if you don't get dinner, spend, I don't know, $40-$50, go there, get an ice cream, let the kids go on some rides, get yourself a drink, and it's a really good time. I do think they need to take advantage of like open carriers, not guns, because I don't want to go there. But as far as like set up a bar or something for parents, because sometimes when you're waiting in line and then watching your kids on the helicopters, you're like, I could use a drink right now. And maybe they don't want to do that because that would lead to parents actually punching their kids and yelling at them. But it would be nice to be able to sip on a beverage while you're watching your kid go up and down on the free fall 1,000 times, which those were the best faces by far. Watching those kids up and down on the free fall, like every single kid on there was just awesome. Anyway, that was enough about that. I'm not being paid by the city of Rehoboth or Funland to promote them, nor do I need to, because that place was fucking packed and they were making money hand over fist. Every parent had to pay 2 tickets to go on with their kids. Luckily, my kids are old enough that I didn't have to go on many rides with them, so we were able to save some tickets that way. Anyhow, so, oh man, 34 minutes. Should I go on that last little rant or just call it Call it an episode. Girls and how they can mess up your psyche.
No, I think that was a stupid point.
Save that for a day. You're not in the. All right, so we'll save the power of the PUSSY for another day. The wife vetoed it, and I don't need her to, be mad at me or anything. I wouldn't want that. But no. So let's see. How can I end this since I can't end it like I used to end it? You said that was very embarrassing for you. How did I do it last time? I know I do need to think of a new sign off. Go perform coitus with your mammary glands. That was way worse. So you should just let me say TF yourself. But either way, thank you so much for tuning in. Be back next Sunday. And if my wife's not in the room, we'll talk about the power of the PUSSY. Later.